I do want to go back to your points about like the economists saying like, you know, they are the ones who are trying to decide when they should cut, and maybe like the timing is more important and stuff like that. But before I go to that point, let me just maybe like clarify something, right? So I spent the whole like beginning of this entire episode bragging, and admittedly that is part of why I included this segment of the story. But another reason, another purpose on why I brought this up, this like polymarket, bet stuff up, is because I want all of you, like Dom and Tristan included, but also our audience, to ask themselves one simple question, right? So if Andy was so good at was so able to determine the signal from the noise, and was right on this when the consensus was against him, what else is he right about, right? So I'm just trying to like throw out that question, right? So for example, right now the consensus is that, if you just ask any normie, maybe not the consensus in this room, but if you ask like just normal people on the street, if Bitcoin is going to fail or succeed, they're probably going to tell you it's going to fail because, like, no one's like, they're not using Bitcoin. They barely know what it is. They might have heard about it. Some people might have not even ever heard about it in their lives. And if try to pitch to a normal person, like investing in, let's say, like CleanSpark or Bitfarms or any of our Bitcoin mining place, like never mind that, right? Like they don't even understand Bitcoin. They're probably not going to get it, and they're probably like going to think you're a sketchy dude or whatever, or you're doing something super risky, right? But what I am saying, and what I've been saying throughout this whole show ever since this started, was that like Bitcoin mining, this sector is going to completely blow up. Like blow up, by blow up I mean like go upwards, right? And I think that that's like the next breakout opportunity, and it's very against the consensus, not only on this street but just in like on Wall Street, right? Like not only is it against Main Street, it's against like the Wall Street consensus as well. Like even if you talk to people who are CFAs or accountants, or just like people who work in the financial industry, they probably don't know or care about any of these like Bitcoin miners, or even Bitcoin for that matter, right? So again, I toss that question to you guys. I know our audience can't respond live, but I want both you, Tristan, and you, Dom, to respond to the question. If Andy is right about these like Fed rate cuts and all this stuff, is there a possibility that he is also right about a lot of the other seemingly crazy stuff that he's been saying throughout this whole show?
Let me do one thing right now, and let me do it right away. Ready? I don't know if we post on Spotify still. Sorry about that, but for context, oh, kidding, guys. Let me close the screen now. Yeah, not financial advice, but I think where this is going, yeah, I hope this is probably gonna go in your favor, Andy. But if you go ahead and check out Andy's LinkedIn and Andy's X page, he does have a full entire thesis of his portfolio and his strategies as to where he's investing and like why that's the case. So I think for you guys to make it completely easier for yourselves, rather than me explaining it, because I feel like he would explain it better. If you read specifically under his Bitcoin section and miners plays section, I think it'll give a really good explanation as to why he's doing what he's doing, and perhaps he's right. I think as for myself, I'll participate in the whole Bitcoin miner sphere, and I do dollar cost average consistently in Bitcoin. So I'm like dancing around right now. I'm not talking clear, but all in all, I think if you want another area to diversify, sorry to pronounce that incorrectly, to kind of park your money and put yourself in the next opportunity, just take a look at Andy's thesis. And we do have a previous episode about that too, as well, in more detail. And take it as you will. This isn't financial advice, but as for myself, I do invest into index funds consistently, dollar costing averaging. I know it's against everyone else in this inner circle, but I like to do it just for security reasons. But for sure take a look at his thesis, and when I kind of understood it more, I felt like I needed to dollar cost average with the Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners more, because I do agree with the some of the words that Andy says. So take that as you will. I'm totally advertising, Andy. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, I'm gonna say that, I respect Andy's opinions a lot. I think he has done a lot of research, and I think that he has definitely been pointing out a lot of things that are worth considering. That being said, I don't think that you should be doing anything without properly understanding it yourself. So, just because Andy is being like Bitcoin good doesn't mean you should just go Bitcoin good. You know, you should understand why it's good and then make your own decision as to whether or not Andy is right on Bitcoin good. Now, from my perspective, I have done my own research and come to my own conclusion that Bitcoin is good, and that Bitcoin miners themselves represent a investment opportunity that is more powerful than a lot of other investment opportunities and has a lot of value in that perspective. So, from my perspective, I think that this is like something where Andy, I think, is correct. So, I think, and I think that that's pretty clear given my commitment to this bit, in terms of being bullish on Bitcoin mining and Bitcoin itself. That being said, that doesn't mean that this is not financial advice, so don't go throwing all your money into something you don't understand because some dudes on the internet said that it was a good idea. Um, Andy has done a lot of research, but Andy doesn't know everything. Same as myself, and our thesis could be flawed in some way, and we may not know why. Right? We're confident in our thesis, but again, we don't have all the information. The U.S. government could be planning to ban Bitcoin mining, December 12th, and it's in writing. They're working on it. They could have done that. They could have that in the weeds, and we just don't know about it. Right? Because you just can't predict everything. So I think that's just one thing to keep in mind. But yes, I think you're right on this one, Andy. So as a rule of thumb, I think when it comes to investing, Andy has been fairly competent at predicting some very, very high return opportunities. And I think that isn't something we can discount, right? So I just want to say that.
Well, thanks for the vote of confidence from both of you. And thank you to Tristan in particular for that disclaimer so that we don't get sued. Yes, like I have been advocating for everybody doing their own research, right? I didn't mean to imply that you should just blindly trust whatever I say, right? Of course, like none of what I said is financial advice. Always do your own research. But I think in general, yeah, like I do like, I'm not all knowing, right? I'm not like omnipotent. I can get things wrong, but in general, I think I've been like my track record has been pretty good, if I do say so myself.